Warrior. Dictionaries give black and white meanings, but the colorful story of Jaydan Thompson defines it for us. To tell this tale of tragedy and triumph, Jaydan's father and Colleyville Heritage teacher, Jaydan Thompson. Jaydan's grandfather and Grapevine City Mayor, William D. Tate. High school principal, Lance Gropel. Panthers head football coach, Joe Willis. And GCISD Superintendent, Robin Ryan. In the face of cancer, he stood tall. In the twilight of his days, he shined. In dark times, he became a beacon of hope. Now, as his body is laid to rest 6 feet under, Jaydan Thompson's legacy lives on 6 feet above. So how did Warrior go from slogan to street sign?
The Warrior Way project and the dedication of the street came about by honestly, some folks approached us as we were at Jaydan's wake, and they, being creative people, said, we have an idea.
The request came to me over email to name the street after Jaydan and to name it Warrior Way. I thought it was a tremendous idea and passed that along to our campus folks.
I thought it was really neat that we had that road dividing the school and our athletic facilities.
Came to find out that it didn't have a name, it's not a city road, it's just a travel street.
Well, Sherry and I, of course, Jaydan's mom, were very enthused about the whole thing. We didn't think that honestly much was going to come of it, but how amazing it was that the community jumped right behind it.
It was a great example, for us to say, every day as we go out to practice, we're going to cross Warrior Way and to remember, Jaydan and remember the fight that he had.
It was a great way to remember Jaydan and something that will last a long time, long past my time at Colleyville Heritage.
Really, we just got the ball rolling, and once we did that, it was a natural thing for us to name the street Warrior Way.
Every day when I go to school, since I work at Colleyville Heritage, I travel down William D. Tate, his grandfather's street, and turn on Warrior Way, Jaydan Street, every day.
Sick, but slick. Suffering, but smiling. Scarred, but stable. Sore, but sweet. Short-lived, but soulful. Jaydan was all that and more, but only one word truly encapsulated what he stood for.
He was a warrior against the disease of cancer, and warriors come back day after day, even when they don't feel like it, and they're doing great things for others.
The warrior's always thought of as brave, somebody that is worthy of the challenge. And
Didn't know what he was going through, you would have never known. And to me, that embodies what the term warrior means.
The term warrior actually came from Jaydan's grandfather, who saw Jaydan's fighting spirit.
To fight back and to be a warrior. And he left that example to those that he left behind.
And so the term warrior came up and it stuck. And he fought all the way to the end, and his legacy is still going on today.
Even as cancer took from him, Jaydan continued to give. Joy to children, smiles to faces, hope to fighters, cheer to fans, laughter to people, hugs to others, love to humanity. But why?
I think that's the thing that brought him life. Bringing joy to others, alleviating their sorrows or their troubles or their fears. That's the thing that brought him joy.
He never had a bad day. He always had a smile on his face. And even when you knew he was in incredible amounts of pain, you wouldn't know because of how happy he was to see you.
You know, people would always talk to me about Jaydan, and that he would go through so much pain and go through so much chemo and all these type of things. But he would always give them a thumbs up and a smile. That he would always ask about them.
As he battled this disease, I was just so impressed with his resilience, with his positive attitude.
That he would always, if someone came into his hospital room, he would try to sit up and talk with them and visit with them, because he didn't want them to worry about him.
So often in life that we get presented with negative things, that Jaydan was that positive hope that a lot of people just really valued.
And people would walk away more encouraged because of his influence than them encouraging him in his fight.
Cancer dealt devastating blows to his body, mind, heart, and soul. But for every shortcoming, Jaydan overcame. For every battle, Jaydan marched on. 3 years passed until Jaydan rose the white flag. But Jaydan's fist, symbolic for his unwavering spirit, rose with it.
The warrior fist came about. It became kind of a trademark for Jay. It was funny because it honestly started spur of the moment. We were at a pep rally and the school was supporting Jaydan. They were cheering for him. And I remember his mother going, acknowledge them, show them that you can hear them. And he raised his fist.
He continued the positive attitude, he continued smiling, he continued trying to help others, he continued in his humble way of being a warrior.
A fist of determination, of fight, of hope, that we weren't done and we were going to continue to fight.
The journey that he had to go through and all of the pain that he had to suffer, he never complained, he never said, why me? He never gave up. He always thought, just like I did, that we were going to beat this disease.
And that warrior fist, he did it as long as he could. In the end, he couldn't raise his arms because cancer affected his neck vertebrae and caused some paralysis. But you would see him still try to raise that fist right from his hip to let everyone know that he was still in the fight.
Jaydan did not escape death. He stared it right in the face, gave it all he got, and did so with a smile on his face. Rarely does a person possess such courage. Jaydan was unique, different, a rare breed, one of a kind. And here's how.
He didn't stand out or try to promote himself, but he tried to promote the people around him and take care of them. And it was really a unique gift of service that I haven't seen in many people, quite honestly.
You know, Jaydan was a very different kind of student. He was positive, he had a smile on his face the whole time, and he got along well with everybody.
Jaydan was never really concerned what others thought about him. Not in a bad way, not in an arrogant way, but just that he was going to be who he was going to be. He was confident in that.
That made him a very unusual person, especially as a young kid growing up.
He had a sense of kindness and gentleness about him with animals, with people, with his goals in life. He was quite a Disney fan and loved to bring magic into the world.
Jaydan's fight brought a school a role model and a fallen hero. Brought a community to their feet and to their knees. Brought a town to tears of joy and of heartbreak. But beyond the emotion, his struggle spread a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, I'm still learning from Jaydan even today, even though he's not here with us. That spirit of belief, that spirit of hope that couldn't be extinguished from him, that's something that I hold on to and I carry with me today.
I think for me, what I have taken away from my relationship with him is to be that positive influence on people's lives.
You know, life is difficult, and life throws us a lot of curveballs, and things sometimes don't go our way. When Jaydan had those curveballs, when he had things not go his way, he continued the fight.
We get the opportunity every day to make an impact on somebody. Let's make it a positive one. Let's make it something that is going to have a lasting impact.
To be kinder to people, to be less critical of people, to be more loving of people, to be more understanding of people, to accept things that I'm dealt, that I have to face in life that disappoints me and I wish I didn't have to face.
Always be ready and willing to fight, and always be ready and willing to give of yourself to that fight.
His spirit, though, and his belief in just the magic of the world, about miracles, about things happening in unexplainable ways, has really transformed us and transformed his family to become better people because of him.
Jaydan really helped me see how important it is for me to be that positive influence.
And to be more determined and to never give up and to be positive and to love God and accept what he gives us on this earth.
For me, that's something that I have tried to embody, to continue just every day making people happy to see you and that you're genuinely enjoy each and every day that you have, because you never know when it's going to be your last.
We have a lot of opportunities in life to be a good example. And I think Jaydan has caused me to be a better example.
It's really amazing to me that here I am supposed to raise this boy and show him the way, but he's really taught me more than I think I ever taught him.
Behind the street sign is the warrior. Behind the warrior is the fight. And behind that fight is the sickness. But through the diagnosis and the timetable, the medicine and the equipment, the pain and the healing, there is always one constant: the person.
Jaydan, as we've said, he was always our gentle giant. He was very unassuming, very humble. He didn't mind putting people ahead of him and serving those people.
He loved all animals, he loved all people, he loved everything. He loved the world that he was in. He loved life.
If he saw something that wasn't right, he would step in. He was one that if someone was in need, he would step up and fill the gap.
Jaydan the person was what you saw, whether he was in the Buster costume or in the hallways or at home or wherever.
Special spirit to love people. That he didn't have to be first. That he was happy to place others in front of him to meet their needs first.
He was the same person everywhere you went, and that was somebody that was trying to make the people around them feel better about themselves and just enjoy every moment that they had.
He always did the right thing, and he didn't need credit for it. He just knew that loving people and taking care of those around him was something very important. And so he always tried to lift up other people instead of himself.
In many cultures, warriors wear armor, but for Jaydan, fur. Whether it's as Buster the Panther or as Chuck E. Cheese, when Jaydan transforms from boy to mascot, magic happens.
One of the things that he wanted to do was to continue to support his team, and an opportunity came up for him to be the mascot.
He loved coming to football games and loved representing Colorado heritage as Buster the Panther.
And in doing that, though he was in chemo and though he continued treatments and though we had our ups and downs, he continually kept promoting the school, supporting the kids, encouraging them, taking every opportunity he could to encourage the community that he loved.
When you go to games, when you go to events and you see the mascot, the elementary age kids just immediately gravitate to the mascot. They want to take their picture. Some of them are scared, some of them are excited.
It was interesting whenever he would come to the stadium, the whole stadium would just kind of light up. Jaydan's here, and his friends would come and talk to him, and so it was amazing to see the impact that he had on everybody at Colorado Heritage.
He would just be himself and make the magic that he always does.
So we're in the playoffs, for him to show up and knowing the kind of pain he had to endure was really a tremendous boost to our team.
The suit, the mascot suit, the whatever, was only a vehicle for what was inside of him. That he really began to transform and to express himself and be free to be that outgoing, outrageous, bouncy mascot that he always wanted to be.
I think, his affinity for mascots, I think really embodied that.
When you put Jaydan into a character, he was a different person. This quiet, unassuming person turned into this outgoing, bouncing, lively mascot or character, and he would draw people in.
The goal of any mascot is to make others around you feel better or promote pride and spirit, and I think that's who Jaydan was. And I think even before the cancer, that was something he aspired to do, and that was something that was important to him.
And the reason is that he loved to transform people. He loved the magic of it. He loved to see kids with their eyes light up, with smiles on their faces.
But I think as a school community, our high school kids truly appreciate that is a representation of them, that is a representation of our campus and who we are.
It was really important to me to reach out to him and invite him to our locker room and invite him to our sidelines and let him be a part of that.
As corny as it sounds, that a mascot costume can embody that level of spirit amongst an entire school community.
And I was never so proud to see him bring the magic to people and be transformed from a kid who had cancer and no hair to this magical character that people were just drawn to.
Teenagers. Stereotypes have shaped the public's image of high schoolers everywhere. But at Colleyville Heritage, something remarkable happened. When cancer knocked Jaydan down, the student body picked him back up.
You know, I've been around public education my entire life, and in very few, very rare instances have I seen a school community just rally around one thing, one constant thing. And Jaydan was that for us, and that warrior spirit was that for us.
An amazing thing happened. That the school, that the staff, that the student peers embraced him. Jaydan became something more than he could ever become with the cancer, I think.
The entire student body rallied around Jaydan, and it didn't matter who you were or what your background was, you were really hoping for the best for Jaydan.
And this disease hit, and he had to fight the fight of his life, and his student body fought it with him because of that compassion, because of that relationship, because of that love that passed between them.
Our school community bought into the spirit and bought into him as a person, and I think that speaks to his character. I think that speaks to who he was, and what will last with so many people beyond their time at Colleyville Heritage.
And it brought a quiet calm and reassurance and joy to our campus, to our community.
I never dreamed that so many people followed his story and was aware of him, and the opportunity he had to touch them and affect their life and help them deal with the problems of their life.
He was a unifying force for so many people. You didn't have to know him to be motivated by him.
And so it's just unbelievable for me how far his story reached.
It was just an amazing thing to see them singing songs and having pep rallies and all kinds of things that would support Jaydan.
He became homecoming king, and they cried, and his face lit up, and that warrior fist came up again, and the crowd cheered, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
This world saw only 18 years of Jaydan Thompson, yet it would take a number of lifetimes to recreate the sizable mark Jaydan left on it.
You know, it's very hard to create an example where people really appreciate you and follow you. People followed Jaydan.
Well, Jaydan's mark continues on. He continues to live in this community and in the people that he touched and he affected.
Everywhere I go, every day I live, somebody talks to me about my grandson, Jaydan Thompson.
He's affected so many people. I pray that his example can live in people, that it can help them believe and hope in the face of adversity.
I'm just glad I got to know him. I'm glad that, while short period of time, I'm glad he made an impact on my life, and hopefully made me a better man and a better principal.
Jaydan, I think, influenced positively and will continue to positively influence those he came in contact with the rest of the days of their life.
Warrior Way. Brief but bold, subtle yet strong, much like the life of who it commemorates. Its meaning, however, is subjective.
You know, I've read Warrior Way several times since we've named the street, and I've been by there many times, and I always just think of Jaydan's smiling face, about his spirit.
Sacrifice, it means hope, and it means an undying motivation to never give up and never focus on the negative things that have been placed before you, but focus on how I'm not going to let that negative thing impact who I am and impact who I'm going to be.
My warrior, Jaydan, is the one that would serve, the one that would love, the one that would put others before him, before himself. And I think that's the warrior way. I think that spirit of hope and of belief and of courage in insurmountable odds, that's really the warrior way.
The crowd of people that were always wanting to be around him, and about how he always took a positive attitude through the day, no matter what was happening.
So the Warrior Way Street is right between the school and the football fields. And all our athletes cross Warrior Way every day to go do their training, to go do their hard work, to go do all those things. And there was a side of Jaydan that is all that. The other side of the street is the campus, where kids laugh and love and study and work hard and make friendships, and that was another part of Jaydan too.
Jaydan Thompson instilled lessons in all he's ever met, and even in those he's never known. His life, full of its memorable chapters, may have reached its final page. But Jaydan's story is still being written.
I said at his memorial service that I hope that the spirit of the warrior doesn't die with the warrior. It lives on in the hearts of the people. It gives them strength and helps them deal with their own problems of life. And I think that's what Jaydan did.
And so I want to carry on that legacy for him. That legacy of always believing, of always hoping, of always fighting, of always being who you are, a person of character and integrity and spirit, to transform sometimes a dark world into something better.
I think you see his legacy in so many things around our campus. I think you see it in the mascots on Friday nights or Tuesday nights or whatever ball game they're at. I think you see it in how people treat each other.
It's about always remembering. It's about always knowing that Jaydan has had a permanent positive impact on Colleyville Heritage High School.
I think the lasting legacy of Jaydan is there is more to this life than promoting ourselves, gaining power, gaining money, gaining riches and success. I think Jaydan's legacy is more about loving the people around you, serving them, placing them above yourself.
We live in a day and age where respect for your fellow man isn't all that common, and I think Jaydan and his beliefs and how he treated people really cultivated that culture of treat people better, because the opportunity to make an impact is truly profound.
And so legacy for Jaydan, I pray that he can be an inspiration to people to forget about themselves and to serve other people. And I think when we do that, we really find out what life's about.
You know, Jaydan is with us every day, and his spirit of a positive attitude, his spirit of fighting through adversity, his spirit of leading, even through the types of mountains that he had to climb, those are the kinds of things that we'll all remember about Jaydan Thompson.
I could never imagine that his story would have unfolded like this, that he would have transformed a community and left a legacy behind in a short 18 years.
Can you move your fingers?
Time will pass as it always does. Leaves will change. Seasons will switch. Calendars will flip. Classes will graduate. Diplomas will be dealt. Caps will be flung. People will move on. But Warrior Way will never lose Jaydan Thompson. His story is passed down, and its significance does not diminish. His book comes to a close, but a sequel is in the works. The body underneath the costume is no longer with us, but Jaydan Thompson is alive. Alive in the spirit of a school. Alive in the history of a community. Alive in the memories of people. And he still makes the magic.